grab that coffee. We've got art to make. But first, check this out. I spent hours, maybe weeks, staring at blank pages. Even worse, hundreds of hours drawing, erasing, drawing again, and trying to decide where to go next. I'm like a gorilla trying to figure out what a candy cane is. Sound familiar? Now what if I told you that the real secret to getting those creative juices flowing was to embrace your inner trash panda? We've all been there, right? Empty canvas, blank page, terrible lighting, maybe a composition that you've seen done better by a 4-year-old. You get this thought, why do I feel like everything needs to be a masterpiece? And you just want to shut down. The truth is, it doesn't. That pressure to be brilliant is the single fastest way to kill whatever you were trying to create. So stop trying to polish a turd and experiment. Just start. But enough of the boring lecture. Let's enjoy our coffee, head over to the easel, and make some art.
All right, so fun fact before we get into this drawing. I drew this at my easel for 10 minutes before I realized that I hadn't even hit the record button. So now we are at the overhead view at my desk, and we're gonna draw Richard the raccoon because he's a dick and he digs in the garbage. So for starters, we are going to make kind of a lemon shape for his head. All right, and be sloppy with this, right? We're getting dirty and we are enjoying ourselves. Right, that's kind of a odd lemon shape, but it's a lemon shape. Add a little highlights on the edges. Then we're gonna do kind of an oblong circle for his nose right down here. We're gonna elongate it, right, with those little lines. It's almost like a skunk mark. That's the way I think of it for this coming up. Then we're gonna make some big eyes because Richard's gonna be stressed out, digging in too much garbage. And it's okay if they aren't working right out the gate because we're gonna fix it as we go. So let's continue. Widen out the head a little bit. We're gonna make kind of a big sloppy ear on both sides. In the center, we gotta have the actual eye, right? Or the iris of the eye. We should probably add a little definition to the nose. Then we gotta get drawn in here with some of that raccooniness. All right, if we add these slight little angles here, we can accentuate that mouth. We'll use a darker pencil. Right now I'm using an HB pencil, which is very hard. So it doesn't show up as dark as the other ones, but we'll use softer pencils to go darker and bring some of this out a little better. All right, we got that. Let's add some hands. Because remember, we said Richard is stressed out. So we want his little raccoony paws to be digging into his face. There's 1, 2 little paws. Fourth one can be kind of connected. We'll flail that out a little bit. Let's do the same on this side. Digging in, just stressed out. This one will be pretty close like the other. This one we'll just kind of conjoin a little bit because we're at a different angle. All right, now we've got essentially a basic setup for this guy. We're going to change it as we go. We got to have our eraser because clearly I went too wild on this eye. That's okay. Now we just try to refine it. Way too big. Let's do that again. This is where a lot of people don't like to erase, especially when they're doing pencil drawings, but hello, pencil erases perfectly. So let's make sure that we're doing that. All right, I'm liking that so far. All right, so what I want to do when I am using pencils, I like to use my HB, my hard pencils first, so that I am coloring lighter, right? This is going to be kind of the wild scribble fest. It's one of my favorite parts of drawing with a pencil. So I'm going to kick on some music and we're just going to go with this, okay? Here's where we're going to switch to actually I'm going to switch to a 2B, and we'll darken in on a lot of this. Actually going to do some smudging too. And you don't have to be perfect. We're not drawing to impress right now. We're drawing to have fun, and we're experimenting, right? Unleashing our inner trash panda, Richard. All right, and this is where we get to have fun. Smear that graphite. And then you deepen it a little bit more after the smears. Then if we want to make those eyes pop out, darken them. Round them, right? Give those babies some character. Make them pop. And let's deepen the nose quite a bit. These ears, right? Fuzzy raccoon ears. Fuzzy, fuzzy, fuzzy. Deepen those bad boys. And what we should do after we deepen them is line them, right? Because we want to know their ears, but we also want them to kind of blend in. Because this guy's one fuzzy son of a gun. Remember, you're not trying to impress anybody with this. You're just having fun. You're drawing your way. Yours is going to look different from mine. Guess what? That is okay. All right, let's work on these hands that we got up in here. Darken in between those fingers. There we got. Outline them a little bit to make them pop. And you know what else we can do? We can do some hatching on this, some cross hatching if we wanted. It's always good to mix in a few different styles. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be anything with this, right? Biggest thing we're doing is we are defining certain areas of this little trash panda as best we can. Think of it as like that mid piece, that sternum, right? Up in here. And we're just going to scribble it out. It doesn't need to look pretty. It just needs to be a drawing. We'll cut a little more cross hatching. And since I am getting low on that one, I'm going to pull out my 4B, which is an even lighter pencil. And we're going to come in even darker on some of these spots. Right, and you could do this for, I mean, there's so much detail you could pull into this and make different shapes and work on the nose more and lighten it. You can erase, you can, I mean, there's so much you can do. But for now, I think we call this good. I'm loving it. I mean, if you want, you can kind of add some, like, oh my goodness, eyebrows. And that's Richard. He's our messy raccoon. I hope you see a different way of drawing through this, not the pretty clean stuff that like everybody does, right? You can be messy, you can smear stuff, you can shake it up, you can do whatever you want, and it's still art. It comes out beautiful. Just go with it. Just make it happen. Be a child again.
So the next time you feel that dread of a blank page or that crushing pressure of perfectionism, I want you to remember Richard. I mean, look how stressed out he is. I want you to embrace the glorious mess at the beginning. Forge aggressively through ideas in forgotten corners of the world. Then take a step back and find the genius in all the chaos. You have everything you need. The tools are in you. Now go make a mess. If this resonated with you, please subscribe, like, comment, and share.